Okay, welcome back again to my channel. I hope you guys have been good. So today we'll be making something different. If you know how to make egusi soup, I know you already have a particular way you make your egusi, but today we're going to be making it a different way. Okay, I'm going to be showing you how to make it in a different way, not the one you make with oil and all that stuff. This no oil, especially those that are watching their cholesterol. This will be a good way for you to enjoy egusi soup. All right, so today we're making egusi pepper soup. Some of you might be hearing that for the first time, but actually there is egusi pepper soup. Okay, and we're making it with some catfish, fresh catfish. All right, so you can actually make it with any meat of choice. You can use goat meat, you can use beef, you can use regular fish. It all depends. Any protein of choice you can do. All right, it's not set in stone that you must use catfish, but this particular recipe I'm going to be using catfish. And what exactly do you need to make this? Very simple ingredients: protein of choice, your seasoning, your pepper soup spice. That is it. That's all you need to make this delicious soup. Protein of choice, your egusi, your pepper soup spice, your pepper, and your seasoning. That is it. So how do you get to start making this stuff? It's very easy. First, you have to make sure you cook the protein of choice. Since I'm using catfish, I'm gonna be cleaning the catfish, doing all the needful, and start to cook it. And in the process of cooking this, you can use any seasoning of choice. All right, but the most important thing in this recipe is the pepper soup spice. Pepper soup spice is been made easy these days because you can actually get it in sachet form. You will be seeing the one I'll be using. Or if you want to go the local route, you can source the ingredients for the pepper soup for yourself. They have a bunch of stuff they have put together, but gone are those days. Now you can get it from the store, pepper soup spice, and voila, you're good to go. Okay, so this, you chop your onion, chop your pepper, just to give it that pepper soup flavor. Remember, it's not pepper soup if it's not peppery, if it's not spicy. The spice make it delicious. All right, so be generous with your onion. If you're the type that like onion a lot, you can use as much onion you want. And also, depending on how your tolerance is for spiciness. Like for me, I'm using 2 Scotch bonnets for this recipe. Actually, at this stage of my life, I don't think I can actually tolerate spicy stuff anymore. When I was much younger, I could, but right now, if I take too much spicy stuff, trust me, I'm gonna be having a long day in the toilet. So I don't do too much spice, but depends. You can make it very spicy, you can make it mild, and this is stuff I was telling you about for the pepper soup spice. That's a pepper soup spice that contains all the ingredients for the pepper soup. So you can get it from the store, from local store, to make your pepper soup. And now I'm gonna be mixing the egusi, and in mixing it is the egusi and some crayfish. What's pepper soup without crayfish? Crayfish is one of the secret ingredients that makes pepper soup taste the way it does. All right, so I'm going to be mixing it, and mix this very well. You can do it this way, or you can just go straight and turn your egusi into the already boiling meat, you can do that. But I choose to do it like this because sometimes I like my egusi to have lumps in it. I like the lumpy egusi kind of soup, so that's why I had to do it that way. But you can do it another way. It's not set in stone. The main thing is get the egusi into the pot, get your crayfish in it also, and the magic will definitely come out when you do all this. All right. So, and the good thing is that this soup can be ready in maybe give or take 30 minutes, but it mostly depends on the protein you're going to be using, because the protein plays a major role. If the protein is like goat meat, beef, and other stuff, that might take a while to cook. But if you're using fish, in less than 15 minutes the soup should be ready. All right, so this is me just adding some more. That was some fish, some dry fish. There's some bonga fish, and for my African people, especially Nigerians, that know what that is. Then adding one seasoning cube to this. Then just touch, because it's catfish, you don't want it to break. Just have to maneuver a little bit when it's ready, especially when you're turning it. There you can see right here, I have to be very careful the way I turn it, because I don't want the fish to break. But the fish, see, ended up breaking. But I think I learned my lesson from this particular part, because I left the fish when I was adding the egusi in it. So if you're going to be using fish, I will advise what you can do is, when it's time to put the egusi in the pot, try to take out the fish. Okay, so take out the fish, put the egusi, let the egusi cook, taste it, make sure everything is okay the way you want it. And when you're ready to turn the stove or whatever you're using to cook off, then you can put the fish back. That way you can preserve the fish from breaking. All right, mine, I didn't really do that, and the fish ended up breaking. Some of them broke to pieces, but I still enjoyed it, because it's all in the soup. So when I was moving my hands, there was always something to eat. But if you're the type that like to see the piece of the fish, you can do it like that. Okay, so now this is the fish, this is the soup, cooking on low heat. And eating this will be making some plantain fufu. There's me making some plantain fufu. You can use any other swallow of choice also. You can use pando yam, you can use eba, you can use stash, you can use any kind of swallow. All right, to eat the soup. So that's for that. All is ready. Now it's time to devour. It's time to devour the soup with my special fufu. So be generous with your protein. You've worked hard for this. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and set up your notification to get the latest update. Thank you. Bye.